sounds as good as
WEFM, the clean, fresh sound.
Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
You know, as I'm listening to this instrumental and the song is playing in my head, a thought just came to me. I wonder if when the foreigners hear this song and they say this is the maddest place on earth, and they don't know how we Vinci people and we Caribbean people tend to talk and refer to things. I wonder if they're thinking like, they got a lot of crazy people on the loose down there. Why are they letting people know that they're the maddest place on earth? Like, what's going on?
I think they can't, because there was trying to think of one. You know, like, so it's bad, right? Mm-hmm. Man, this is bad. Mm-hmm. That kind of thing. They would say that, but they know that it means it's good. Mm-hmm. I was trying to think of so something is wicked. Yeah. Right, this is wicked, but you know that you're saying it in a positive way. There are several others, but I just can't pull them quickly out my head. But yeah, there are several others.
Okay. All right, then. Well, we're gonna go off of the Vinci topic for a while. Just a reminder that you can always call us 457-9997, WhatsApp landline. You can even send us a WhatsApp message and interact with us. Okay.
All right. So before we get into it, though, I just want to say congratulations to the graduating class of the St. Vincent de Grenadines Community College, who will be graduating today. All right. I know that this is a big day for many of you. It is also a special occasion in the eyes of your parents and those persons who have been supporting you. And for many of you, you will be entering the workforce. You're adults now, right? You're going to start taking on some responsibility. But I know that there are others of you who are also going to be pursuing your education a little further. So I just want to say congrats to everybody. You remember what it was like when you graduated? You remember the feeling?
I did not go. I did not attend college graduation.
Oh, you didn't go?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. I remember going, and I remember how I felt, and that was the day I chose to send out applications.
Oh,
in my uniform or with my sash on.
Okay, then.
I meant business. I was like, listen to me. I have just graduated. I am looking for a work. So yeah, I had sent out applications in my with the sash on saying graduates. And I had my friends with me. But it's interesting, because now I think about it, like the friends who were with me that day, the same friends that I have up to today.
Aww,
yeah, just
nice.
Thinking about it. So we just went from bank, because I sent out banks and different places. So bank to bank, just drop it off. And then people like, congrats. Yeah, so yeah, but
will there be a few releases today?
So I also want to say special congrats to Andrea Hoyt. I met her father. Well, her father's now deceased, Adrian Hoyt, when I was working on Easy Radio, and we became friends through there. So as a result of that, I won't quite say godmother-ish, but I am there in her life and trying to be supportive, and she updates me on things that's happening to her. So for Andrea, I know that your father is looking down at you and he is smiling and he's proud of you. You're turning into a very beautiful young lady. You're keeping your head on, and the rest of us are going to continue to be there to support you. All right. So congrats to you, Andrea.
All right, then. And because you all are big people, for those of you who are in the events, you could be outside celebrating fully your graduation, all the tears you cried, boy, them assignments, them essays, oh Lord, them exams, the things you meet on the exam that you didn't expect to meet on the exams. But
there was a day I had already graduated university and everything, and I woke up in a panic because I thought that I was still back in college and I had an exam coming up and I was not ready for this exam at all. And Dianna, when I told you that panic was real, it was real. And I had to say, but Roleza, you don't go university. How it is you wake up with such but you know what I think it was telling me? That I could have done a lot better than I did in college, because I don't know. college was an interesting 2 years. I thoroughly enjoyed it, but I really do think that I could have done more. My mother probably wouldn't want to hear this now because, probably meant I could have got a scholarship or something, but it was an interesting 2 years.
The good thing about being an adult, when you're big, you could start to confess certain things. And I mean,
Tell me about it. I can't get it's not
that's
true.
it. All they could do is screw up and watch you and say, "Oh ho," but that's it.
I can't get no licks. I can't get no shout down because what? As a big woman now.
You just if you're by, like, say you're by her house, you just get in your vehicle and just drive off. And just go home. All right then. So off of this particular topic as it relates to school, and we're heading into some not so very pleasant topics that are related to school. Now, sometime last year, we heard about some ladies who went onto a primary school compound in the countryside, and assaulted some persons and had a whole
Basa.
But that's, yes, it's a fancy word I've been looking for. A whole basa on the school compound, where those ladies have been charged. And you can check out Eyewitness News. You can check out Kenton Chance's page, the news page, and you can get the news there. So the 3 women who were accused of being involved in 2 fights at the Langley Park Government School in October of last year have been found guilty of trespassing and assault. All right, now I'm not going to go through all the details of the case. If you wish to do that, and you can just head over to Eyewitness News in your sometime that's available to you and read through that. There may be coverage on other news sites as well. I'm not sure, but you can always check and see. But just to let you know that those persons who went onto the compound have been found guilty of trespassing and assault and have been charged accordingly. It's good to know that school matters do get addressed. I remember not so long ago, a principal did tell me that school matters are very, very serious. So it's good to know that something is happening there, because there's another story, and we've heard stories like this where persons are facing certain difficulties. Their children are facing certain difficulties, and they're not getting the satisfaction that they think they are to get. And one of the most recent ones, a mother reached out to a news site because she's saying she's very frustrated. Her daughter has been getting some bullying from other girls that attend her school. She has reached out to the school. She has reached out to the ministry, and she says she's not getting, nothing is being done, and she's very fearful. Many of us are, joining in that fear with her, because we are aware that there have been situations like these where persons were being bullied and it ended up being something fatal. The person ended up getting killed. Somebody ended up getting killed. So this mother is saying her daughter, these girls who attend her school, they're always approaching her child when she's by herself. Like when she's waiting for van, they would go up to her, they would say things to her like, "Oh, you said something about me." And if you've ever seen young school children, how they behave aggressive when they're bullying others, when they they want to appear as this big bad bully. So things like that, cursing her out, telling her they're going to beat her up, threatening her, whether she's standing waiting on van, she's in the van, they're threatening her. And the mother says she reached out to the school, but the school is saying that because it's not, according to the mother, the school says because it's not happening on the school compound, they can't really do anything about it. We are just hoping that she could definitely get the case resolved. I think that now it's in the media that something may be looked into. Definitely, we don't want to wait until something terrible or something worse happens. We don't want to hear somebody has been hurt before we actually get the matter sorted out. So I don't know if you have anything you want to share as it relates to that.
Yeah. All right. So let's go back to the first story with the woman being convicted. Now, if you read the article, persons read the article, what actually started this entire situation is that the son had a water gun in the class and he was shooting it on the students, right? Spouting the water onto students. The teacher spoke to the child, it seems repeatedly, and what led up to everything is that the teacher spanked the child on his foot, all right? And, parents come down to the school asking why it is you do this. And then she's saying something, the next time she has to visit the school again because someone hits her son, me nah go talk, right? Means that she isn't going to talk. And, when you come across these type of situations where it's a school, your child is being disruptive to the learning of the learning of the other students. A teacher who is in an authoritative position in the classroom is trying to take control of the classroom, is trying to get things under control. The teacher spanks the child. Now, I don't get the impression that spanking a child is any form of abuse, especially if you've already used words, right? And rather than the parent, maybe coming down to the school to pull up her child in front of the other students to let them know that what it is that they did was wrong, the parents came down to the school to confront the teacher. And when you talk about a breakdown in society of children being disrespectful, of children talking to people any which way, children acting up in schools, in public, etc., many times you might want to think that is just the child, but many times it stems from the home environment, because clearly you see that this mother was upholding the wrong of their child. And, parents who are doing such when a child is young, it's difficult for them to take control of that child. When that child gets older, that child probably becomes a nuisance. The child probably ends up being not just a nuisance to persons around them, but in the context of getting involved in criminal activities, etc., etc. And then the parent wonders, where did I go wrong?
Yeah.
It starts with these little things. All right. So I hate nonsense. And I think that if you are going to be sending your child to school, teachers have the right to correct your child. I'm not saying to abuse your child, but to correct your child. All right. Hi, Queen's morning.
Good morning. You say you met a younger scarret some time ago. Roosevelt scarret.
This was years ago at Queen's. Years. No, I didn't meet him personally. Yeah, he was just passing where I was or where we were at the time.
And you got weak in the knees.
Queens, make you say it so, but kinda, yeah.
So I was thinking if he did slip his number to you, would you have called?
No, Queens. No. Let's not go there.
I'm saying you could have been the first lady of Dominica because Jimmy Prince's daughter married to the Prime Minister Duoteng of St. Kitts. So you could have been the first lady of Dominica, traveling all over the world.
Well, then here, you would have never known me because you want to get to meet me on WEFM. Yeah. The trajectory of my life would have been completely different.
I would have known the name, but I'm not in touch with the life. Because I know this lady from Dominica, she says Scarrett is a multi-millionaire. You have house in Florida, you have house in France. Okay. Multi-millionaire, yeah. Okay. All right, later. Bye.
So you say I lose all of my chances? Bye, Queens.
So Queens really called to tell her that, right?
And this was weeks ago. All right, we have Anita. Morning, Anita. Anita?
Hello?
Good morning, ladies. Blessed Tuesday.
Good morning.
Present, please. Now, listen, you took every word out of my mouth, so I can't say much where the teaching is concerned. But then, ladies, we wonder why our children are not learning. Because if I'm a teacher and you come in to beat me if I correct a child and then abuse them, and I will just do the basic. Because I'll be afraid that if the child would come home and say certain things, and people doesn't realize. I mean, guardian parents, children always look for a listening ear, Roleza. I'm not saying you have to ignore them, but when a child knows that they have a listening ear, whether right or wrong, there is where they will go. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, you're correct.
Yeah, because today teaching is not like, I mean, when I used to go to school, we used to get the leather strap. Now today they take the beating out of school, and even if you talk to the child easy, the child would come and say, "Oh, teacher, ball at the teacher, yell at me." Nothing tall go so, and then the first thing you do, you fly down to school to abuse teacher. You know what? Yeah, so it's a ticklish situation. I don't know how we're gonna handle it, but I'm telling you, school is not the days when I used to go, and even to you, I mean, Roleza and Dianna. You know what I mean? Yes.
Yeah.
All right, my dear, you guys have a blessed one, and we'll talk again. Joshua, good morning. I didn't hear him today. Where is he?
He was trying to call when you were on.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yes.
God, get my sync alike. All right.
All right. You too.
All right.
Bye. All right. So there's something that Anita said, but okay, so the child not learning part I would link with the bullying. But then Anita also made it part about teachers of long ago and teachers of nowadays. And when you come across an incident or a situation where a parent comes down to a school to confront a teacher, sometimes society also has to stop and wonder why some teachers are doing the bare minimum. Right? They're not going above and beyond for children because sometimes for some of them, they may feel like it's a wasted effort. I am trying to instill discipline in your child. You are coming down to the school to confront me. I am just going to do what it is that I have to do, take my bag at 3:00 and go home. All right. So that's also another factor to consider. Hi, Joshua. Morning.
Good morning, Anita. Queens is an interesting guy. I don't know what he had for breakfast yesterday or today, but it's just not the usual Queens, So Queens, whatever you had for breakfast, let me know. On the issue of hitting, beating, whatever word you want to use.
Spanking?
A child, no, whatever word you want to use. No teacher or any other person has the right to hit, physically discipline someone's child. There must be another way. Now, I'm saying this because I've been through that system where, because I stuttered like the decker trucker trying to start. I got my backside whipped. Spit it out, you dummy, spit it out. By a teacher. No one has the right to do that. There must be another way. So that's just my rant for that. Now, the other thing is I got up at 6:00 this morning. I put in 3 hours, and I'm telling you, I sweat like a pig because I have to make Mrs. Richardson happy. After 3 hours, I quit, and I thought of 3 things about when I die. Apart from meeting Jesus Christ, if I'm given the opportunity, I would like to meet 2 other persons. I guess you want to know who those 2 persons are.
Sure, you're going to tell us.
We lost a baby 35 years ago. And I still haven't gotten over it. I think about that baby every single day, but it gets easier as I go along. The other person I'd like to meet is Adam. Adam, the guy in the guy in the garden.
Garden of Eden.
The other person.
That's Adam.
What's that?
The Garden of Eden.
Yes,
that's
yes.
Adam. Okay.
Yes, that's Adam. That's Adam. So Jesus Christ, my baby that I never got the opportunity to hug and kiss, and Adam. Had it not been Adam, I would not be sweating my eyes out this morning. So if I get the opportunity to meet Adam, I'm going to put in a special request. I'm going to say, Lord, please let me form a line. Put a line Adam up and let everybody walk past and kick his butt for putting us through this horror.
Well, that's between you and Adam when you meet him, all right?
Yes, between me, Adam, and the Lord. Adam, that's the only person I want to meet. Anita, we will link up later. Have a great day.
All right. Take care, Joshua.
On the what Joshua spoke about, is something that he used to get beat for in school. No, I don't agree with that, and I would say that a lot of teachers have done some terrible things and have hit children for some really unnecessary things. Like if a child is stuttering, you don't expect to beat them because they're stuttering. You understand that that's something that they cannot control. But I would not say that the punishment at this point, I don't think that the punishment should be taken out completely, because from the experience working in the school, there are some children who just, the threat of that, well, I understand that that is a fear. It's the same fear you have when your parents are going to beat you. But the threat of you're going to the principal's office or you're going to get flogged is the only thing that would get them to be, nothing else really. And nothing. You could come with all these theories and everything you learned. Who
gentle parenting,
all your fancy theories you learn in school and all of that, and none of it. And the amount of disrespect that I faced from primary school. Children cuss bad word on me. They show me the middle finger. And at the end of the day, what do you do?
Bend the finger. And I just joking. Before anybody come after me.
What do you even do? What do you even do? A lot of parents, a lot of people who talk about the school system and what shouldn't happen and should happen. Some of them, they've never been there. There are parents who would come to the school and say, boy, teacher, I don't know how I'm making it. They can't even spend 5 minutes. But teachers have to be there all day, and some of them would even tell you, me can't go with my child, but you have to go with their child and everybody else who can't go with their child, and they don't take that into consideration.
And that's why they get so excited when it's time for school to reopen, because they realize how the child is. They're trying to manage with just one or two, but something else I was going to say and it just gone. Oh, right. The thing with the beating though, as far as I know, it's the principal who's allowed to hit, right? Yeah. And it's supposed to happen.
The principal could designate a person,
right? So, Joshua, it's not a case where every teacher in the school can beat the children. I don't want to say beat. Can discipline the child in that form. It is the teacher, or as Dianna is saying, a designated teacher to do so. All right. All right. So.
No, can't you go ahead?
Right. So I was going to switch to the bullying thing.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right. So one of the things that I noticed that was missing from the article with regards to the bullying of the mother's report of the bullying towards her child is that I didn't see mention being made of a report being made to the police.
Oh.
Right? Because this is a matter that can be reported to the police. So yes, she is trying to seek redress from the schools, from talking to the parents of the children directly. But given that it's come down to this, make a report to the police and they can probably intervene. Right? So, and another thing too is that bullying does happen. And as much as we like to think of women as being the gentler creatures, not all of us are, right? Not all women are. And I find that when people, not just people, but school children in particular, when they get together, there's this thing about herd mentality where everybody together, they think collectively, right? If you set them apart, like one separate one from the other, they would know that what they're doing is incorrect. But when they come together as a pack, they bully persons in that sort of way. So I think I'm not sure how it is that this can be further addressed apart from taking it to the police, but I am hoping that it does not impact on the learning of this child, because children already have enough to deal with and to be thinking about, am I going to be safe when I leave school this afternoon? Am I going to be terrorized while waiting on a van? Am I going to be further terrorized while I'm in a van? The threat of being beaten. This could weigh heavily on the mind of a child and can impact the way in which they learn, or if they're going to learn at all. So, I mean, parents of children who are bullies in school, you have to take stock of your child as well, because we don't want to hear it coming down to a situation where, God forbid, this child is so overwhelmed that they decide to take their life. We don't want for it to come down to a situation like that. So it's really everybody in society has to do their part. Yeah. Teachers, parents, children. Well, I would bring police into this as well. Everybody has to do their part. So.
And I think you mentioned it. The child can skip school. I remember one time I got bullied. I was bullied at every stage of my education. Being one of the less fortunate children in the class. The privileged just saw it fit to always bully people like me. So I remember in college I was cyber bullied, and I didn't go to, my mother didn't know this. I mean, if she was listening, she would be hearing this for the first time. But I actually did not go to school for like a few days. And then when I went back to school, I did not go to that class for an entire week. In the particular class, something happened in that class. I didn't go to that class for a week. And it was the first time in my life. I thank God that I grew up in a non-violent home, in that I don't come from people who, the first thing is to fight, because I may have those children, Roleza. That's how I felt. I was furious. First time in my life, I felt like I could commit a crime.
But you didn't have anybody who you thought that you could speak to about it? Well, at the different stages?
Nah.
No? Was it that you were uncomfortable speaking to somebody about it?
I mean, there wasn't anybody at home that I could speak to. Home was not that kind of environment, for talks. And I probably told a friend or a few friends. But as my people the same age as me, there was really anything you could do other than say, "Oh my gosh, I'm sorry," things like that. It just turned out that a group of us were in a particular class together, and we had to write about an experience, and I decided to write about that experience. And when I wrote about it, some children in the class, they realized, because they took part in that bullying and sharing of things, because it was cyberbullying. And it was not until then that they realized it was me, and they felt really terrible. They apologized, said how, how bad they felt.
Sometimes when you're growing up, you don't realize that what it is that you do or you say can actually be hurtful to somebody else. They may not have necessarily even realized that what they were doing. For that. And that is the thing with us. I want to say as Vinci, but it's probably Caribbean people are just people on a whole, where we take things and make jokes out of them, not realizing how hurtful it is to other people. We comment on people's sizes. We comment on people's socioeconomic brackets. We comment on things that you have no control over. The complexion of somebody's skin, you put a label on persons. These are the type of things. We think that it's a joke, and we don't realize that it really and truly is a form of bullying. Right? So, it's really unfortunate. I suppose this goes back to having a home environment where you can feel comfortable with telling your parents every and anything, because you did not have that outlet. So but I think coming out of it, what it is that I would love to encourage, you see how we love to use this thing, I ain't leave me mouth in me mama. This is what it is that I want for every parent to teach a child. Be outspoken. Stand up for yourselves, right? Stand up even when it is that everybody else may seem to be against you. Stand your ground, right? Speak up for yourself, because if you don't, you're just going to end up succumbing to the thoughts and opinions and, being targeted by other persons. Teach children how to stand up for themselves.
Great. All right. And with that word, we are going to head out of this talk segment and let's play some ads. Then we'll get back into some music, and we'll probably be back for another talk segment before 9 o'clock.
Did you know?